and I'm gonna.
So Jimmy, if I go ahead and click on like Outlander, that little button by it, a module you are attempting to use is not loaded. How do I load that? Alright, so backgrounds, encounters, items. Is there any reason not to load it? Ah, there, my Outlander information comes up now. Huh. So my race doesn't come up though. Wood elf.
You are probably a sub race, so you want to look under elf and scroll down and look under subset or sub race, and you might have to look under the Sword Coast, or you might have to look under the player's hand guide. All right. So while you guys
Well,
are
when I
loading
so
modules,
on those,
mm-hmm.
yeah. So when I'm loading those modules, if I push load, like on the Adventurer's Guide for the Sword Coast, it now has a button that says unload.
Mm-hmm.
But if I close out and I go back in, it tells me to load again. It's not loading. Any reason why?
So when you click,
No, it's not opening. That's what I'm saying. The only the PHB Deluxe. Any of the others, the book doesn't open. It just gives me the word unload. It gives me an unload, but it has an open book. The others all have closed books with an unload. And if I close the data module, it come back in and it tells me to load them, or I need to load. Nope.
Oh, all of a sudden, all three just opened up after some clicking.
Well, I can let them sit out there.
Well, I actually went as far as unloaded the Player's Handbook Deluxe, loaded the Dungeon Master's Guide, unloaded the Dungeon Master's Guide, went back and loaded the Player's Handbook Deluxe, and then it went and said the other ones were loaded as well. So some random opening and closing, and or there's stuff going on in the background, and it just takes a long time to finish.
Yeah, see, the Player's Deluxe actually, when I go to load it, it actually, um, the button goes ahead and makes it look like it's trying to load.
Right. Yeah, I closed it. I opened the Dungeon Master's Guide. I think I loaded and unloaded the Dungeon Master's Guide. Then I went back and loaded the Player's Handbook Deluxe. I might have had the Dungeon Master's Guide. I might have just loaded the Dungeon Master's Guide. I don't remember exactly. But then all of a sudden, the books themselves opened, and when you close the module thing, they're listed down in the library. I'm gonna grab a beer.
Okay, I'm back. Any resolution to the handbook?
Well, the handbook opens, it's the others that don't. They all show that they should be loading, but they're not trying to load, at least on mine.
I was able to get them all to load on mine, but I unloaded the Player's Handbook and then started loading the others. And then after I went back and reloaded the Player's Handbook, the others loaded.
Yeah, I tried that same thing, Jeff. It didn't help.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure because then I went and did the Sword Coast guide after everything else, and it opened pretty quickly. But I'm gonna grab a beer, and then maybe it's a time thing.
Yeah. All right, so I'd say click unload on all of them and then just sit for a minute and see if things don't eventually just unfold for all those different components. It may just be that with everybody opening up the books, it was taking some time.
I'm back.
Okay. We getting any movement, Jerry?
Nope. Yeah, we can continue on. I'll eventually would like to have, be able to click on my little buttons and then pull up the right info.
Yeah, agreed. Okay.
Hey Jared, do all the icons next to the books have a check mark on them?
Yep, they all have a check mark by them. You talking about that little, like, octagon?
Yeah, it looks like a green stop sign.
Yep, they all got that.
Okay. Well, I'm pushing a map to you guys, and we'll get started.
Yep, there we are.
So, each of you, having pretty much wandered the realms for your own reasons, um, have coincidentally converged on this little town of Daggerford. I didn't want to share that.
I can shut it down.
I can kill it. That's what I wanted to share. A map so you can kind of see where we are on the Sword Coast. Although it's very tiny, so basically you're south of Waterdeep and north of Candlekeep. So Daggerford, pastoral haven, it's built against the side of a low hill on the floodplains of the Dullambere River. Counting the town itself and the nearby hamlets and farms that look to it for protection and guidance, there are some 1,200 people that call this area home. Several inns stand ready to accept visitors as frequent caravans travel the trade route between Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate. Each of you find yourselves both getting hungry and thirsty, and so you turn to a nearby tavern that has the smell of good food and the sound of friendly laughter coming out of it. And this isn't exactly happenstance, because as each of you are wandering around, a street urchin had approached each of you individually and said that a merchant paid him 3 copper pieces to tell you that he wanted you to come to this specific inn, and he was hoping to enlist your services because his servants noticed you and you seemed like an adventurer, and you're just what he needs. And so while you're hungry and thirsty, you're also at this very specific inn because you've been requested.
Did the so do the boy told us a merchant had told us about this, or is that just additional stuff that we wouldn't know that is meta information?
Nope, he told you. The merchant's name is, I just had it right here. Master Perthme. That's the merchant's name that paid this small child three copper. And you don't know if you're meeting other people. And so I brought the map up. You guys are in the southern entrance. You can place yourself inside the tavern wherever you'd like. You can see that there are already a number of patrons, and a bard is in the northeast corner, strumming on a lute. Um,
Yeah, and I forgot how to move. How do I move?
I unlock tokens, so you can just left click and hold and then drag your token wherever you want. So you should see Nadia Fared just outside the keep. There you go.
So how do we get rid of the map that shows Daggerford?
There's a little X in the upper right of the corner. There's also, you can right click on the map and say minimize. So if there's maps that you'd like to keep on your desktop but you want to make us smaller, you can just minimize them and then move the minimization token around. Or just kill it, and then you can find it under maps later or ask me to push it out to you.
So I know how to zoom out to reposition the center of the map, but is there a way to just drag the viewport on the map around?
On the lower right of each map window, there's that little gold clover. Left click and hold on that gold clover and drag that.
So you were confused because it's supposed to be green clovers.
So you find yourselves in Mastum's Tavern. It's fairly full tonight, as the usual locals have already planted themselves in their spots along the bar and a couple tables closer to the fireplace entertainment center. There didn't seem to be an entertainment tonight, but the crowd still seems to be in good spirits. You're not really sure if that bard is really going to sing or not, because he's just kind of got his instrument out, but that's about it.
He's playing tuning scales.
So the barkeep is serving several drinks to the bar. There's a barmaid wandering around, and they both seem to be relatively middle-aged.
Is the barmaid Sheila?
It is Sheila. And without moving all the tokens around and everything, Sheila goes down into the cellar at different points to receive drinks and food items and bring them back up to the bar for Mastum to work his magic or send them out amongst the people. And she goes down, and suddenly there's loud screaming heard from the cellar stairway. And the rapid appearance of Sheila the barmaid, she starts cursing at Mastum about how she's had enough and will quit if he doesn't take care of the beasts that have been plaguing the cellar. Mastum's limping along. He definitely has an injured leg, and being rather middle-aged, he isn't really mobile to do anything. So he calls out, "All right, damn it," looking around amongst his patrons. "Is anyone willing to go and check out these beasties for me? I'll pay for your food and drink tonight if you'll find anything down there and take care of it for me."
I'll go ahead and volunteer.
Sure, I'm hungry.
I'll rise from my table, but I won't say anything yet.
Okay, fair enough. So he Mastum, seeing Dalen, who's the closest, and obviously in a little heavier armor, says, "Cellar's that way. Shouldn't be any locked doors or anything." And with that, we will bring you guys down to the cellar. So you can go ahead and minimize or close out the tavern window.
Okay, so there apparently is a minimal minimize that it does not want you to go past.
When you go minimize, you should have a circular token on your table somewhere, as opposed to resize and make smaller.
Ah, there we go.
Okay, so you find yourselves coming down a stairway into the cellar.
Okay. Tavern cellar is still loading.
Okay.
For me, anyway. Either that or my character has lost their sight. We've entered the ethereal plane.
Is the map gray?
It is gray. It says loading in the middle of it.
Okay, so it still says loading, so that's somewhat good.
Of course, it could just be like me with the books that's going to load. And... Oh, I got a little bit of green up at the top now.
It could be you farming Angmar for that guy's sword and shield and stuff.
Friday preload for Battlefront 2. Hey, you're. I was going to say Jeff's icon was cockeyed, so. There it goes. It's cockeyed.
Yeah, if you
Now
mouse wheel,
sideways.
you can change facing. I'm not really all that big on keeping track of facing, but if you guys care to do that, we can do that easily.
No, I don't care to do that.
So I still am in a loading phase, so I see you guys moving, but
But no map. Okay.
What happens if you drag your icon down? Does it do anything? Not even very far, just down 2 or 3 squares.
yeah, I just did that. It moved it down, and now I can't see the little area that was green up the top anymore.
Interesting.
I tried repushing it. I made a little update and tried to repush the map to you.
Do you have a blindfold on him or something? Or are the stairs all green or red or something?
No, they're not. Jerry, go ahead and close your close the map. Just kill it.
Killed it.
So I'm going to push it to you again, and then I'll sync the client view. Give it a moment. Tell me if it's still in the same loading but not doing anything state.
Yeah, it's a big gray box saying it has 2 cards in the middle saying loading, and I can see the 4 player icons, but nothing else.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll try to get through this here.
Should I just restart my whole client and see if it works?
Sure. That would only take a minute. We may want to port forward all your guys' Fantasy Grounds executables at some point. Just I don't know if that would help or hurt, but we don't have to do that
All
tonight.
right, just on the off chance, I just shut down everything else that was potentially open. So let's start it back up. Tonight I am having a beer from Tombstone Brewery. It's called Another Exercise in Mediocrity.
That sounds really depressing for a beer. I'm hoping you had good reviews before you bought it.
Actually, Tombstone Brewing Company is getting phenomenal reviews.
I'm having a Outer Darkness from whoever makes it up in Utah. They had it in cans at Total Wine, so I grabbed some.
Let me know when you want me to repush the map to you, Jerry.
Well, just a second, because all of my books are now opening.
That's a good sign.
I've only got one that doesn't want to open, and that's the DD5E Basic Rules. All of the four others.
In fact, you don't even need the basic rules if you got the handbook.
Right. Well, the other four open, so that's good. So now Nadia's back open. Yeah, the wood elf needs the basic rules.
Oh, how funny. Okay.
Go ahead and push it to me. Okay, so now I see a bunch of squares that are all gray, and then I have a stairwell that's not. Is that what I should be seeing?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we'll say based on where everybody was at and kind of how you approach things, Dalen will reach the bottom of the stairs first, then Bogner, unless somebody chooses to push somebody else out of the way. And as you push into the room, you see that it's a cellar.
Alright, well, it just finally rendered the whole cellar.
Yeah, I uncovered it.
Alright.
And you guys notice that the bard has kind of wandered down the stairs behind you.
Is he still fiddling with his instrument?
Nope, it's slung across his back, but he now has a weapon out.
Alright, so got something different, funky going on now, Jimmy.
Okay. Are you getting a pop-up error, white screen?
I'm just getting a multitude of lag. I tried to move the map so I could actually still see my character sheet. and it keeps popping back and forth.
That is weird. Usually it just doesn't do anything until you make a move. So you may still be loading something.
All right, well, I moved down into the cellar.
Okay. Bard kind of turns the corner, looking at you three. You guys, I mean, down here it's the cellar. You can see casks of different ales and things. And you can see, foods out on the table. In the corner, you can see a sack that looks like it's been gnawed and grains spilled on the floor. And as you kind of look around, you don't see any beasts. There's no holes. There's nothing that kind of tells you that there's any beasts down here that you can tell. But I'm gonna lock tokens. As Danlin moves up and Bogner moves into the center room, you guys see three rats pop out. One, a fairly giant rat next to Dalen, and then two smaller rats pop out of the grate next to Bogner. Roll initiative.
That's just a 6-7.
Go to your main tab on your character sheet, and pretty much the center, where you see AC and init and speed, you're going to left click and drag the plus whatever on the init over to the chat window and drop it.
Glad we weren't counting on me to have a good initiative.
You're only level 1. You're still slow.
Yeah, you're a level 1 as well.
Yeah, but you get faster over time, and it's going to average out because that's the way life seems to work these days.
All right. So, Dalen, you actually you came down prepared, and so you can see that there's a giant rat that has come out under this table, and looks like it's going to try to bite you. Let's do this now. In the upper right corner of your table, there's crossed swords. That's the combat tracker. If you want to left click on that, that'll bring up the combat tracker and basically shows you the order of who's doing what.
I think this rat's probably too big to step on, so I'll hit it with my sword.
All right, so what you're going to do is you are going to control left click on the giant rat. And in your combat tracker, you should see that you are targeting that giant rat. There you go. Then under your actions tab on your character sheet, you will take your sword, and the first die is your to hit, and then the second group of numbers is your damage. So you'd want to left drag that to hit die. There you go. And you hit. So now you can drag your damage into your chat window, and it'll automatically apply damage to that rat. All right, so you poke it. And you don't have any extra abilities at this time that allow you to do more than one thing. If you want to move, you can. Movement, though, when you're in melee with something, if you move greater than 5 feet away, you break melee, and you invoke an opportunity attack against you from anybody that's nearby.
Yeah, I'm just going to stay here.
Okay, so then on the combat tracker, there's a looks like a end action or end turn in the bottom left. You want to click on that and it would advance. For me, it says next actor. So now we're up to Bogner.
Is the grate open?
No, it's not open. These are just normal rats there that have just crawled out through the grating. And one's right at your feet and the other's, 5 feet from you. They all look pretty hungry, so evidently you're a threatening presence to them, so they are not friendly.
So I would show 2 hand axes and a warhammer on my character sheet. So am I able to select from
You can say
either of those, or how?
Yeah, you can say you're wielding either one right now.
Okay, so I'll try and hit the closest one with the warhammer.
Okay, so you'll control left click on the closest one. And then the combat tracker should show that you are targeting rat 3. There you go. And then drag your to hit die. Perfect. Yeah, you hit it. Damage. All right, instant dead. So you basically golf swinged with that warhammer. Boop.
And based on the direction you're facing, it hit Jeff in the back of the head.
Quite possibly, yes. Okay.
So complete the turn.
Yep. I don't think there's anything else you can do. All right. Well, with the sound of the fighting, another rat appears in the corner. It advances on Dalen. And it tries to bite at your ankle, but it misses. And another rat appears. This one comes after Bogner. Oh, wow. It found the one little piece of your foot that just was not protected. Takes a pretty good bite out of you.
I'm gonna miss that though.
Rat 3 over here. One next to Dalen. He's gonna come after Dalen. Oh, and he hits. Evidently the rat to the back of the head was distracting enough that lowered his defenses.
All right, Evander.
Evander's seeing what's going on here. He skirts around the one giant rat because that's, he sees, well, that took a big nasty chunk out of Bogner. But he's going to try to take on this other little rat here. Oh, and he gets it pretty good. And he pierces it straight through the floor and the grating. And that rat is dead.
What's he using?
He's using a rapier, so he just stabs straight through the rat and straight through one of the straight through one of the grating holes in the grate. Another rat appears. And it is also coming after Dalen.
Now you know why I stood up and didn't say anything.
And doesn't do squat. Nadia, you've been calmly taking this all in.
Well, I like where I'm standing. I'm loaded up with darts. I'm gonna go ahead and attack using a dart on the first giant rat, or giant rat 3, the first giant rat that attacked Dalen.
Okay, so control left click on that giant rat 3. And the combat tracker should.
Control left kick.
Yep. So you're targeting the giant rat 3 in the combat tracker, so you're good. So go ahead and roll your attack on your dart.
So I just drag that attack to the window, right?
Yep. Drag the D20 with, plus whatever. There you go, you hit. So go ahead and pull the damage over. All right. And you pierce that giant rat and it dies.
Oh, right through the eye.
That's all you hear from that rat. And I think that's all. You only get melee for a bonus attack. Now, you can still move if you want to move.
Let me figure out. How far can I move?
So on your main sheet, it'll tell you what your movement rate is. It is 35, I believe. Because I've locked tokens, you just basically left click and drag your character. And it works by waypoint. So if you want to work, like go to one spot, and then you'll drag that end spot to another spot and another spot, you can kind of zigzag around if you want.
Now, if I wander by a critter, do they get an attack of opportunity?
Only if you enter their melee range and then leave it.
Well, that was my whole thing. So can I jump up? How high are these tables? So if I go up, does that take away some of my movement? Up against the wall?
Nah, I mean, these are low tables. They're not very high, so I'll allow you to hop up on one without anything. Yep, you run over there and hop up on a table, no problem.
All right, I'm going to go ahead. I'll just hang out here because I've got a good shot at rat number 1 again.
Okay, go ahead and end your turn.
Just remember, if the rats are anything like the Monty Python rabbit, they can still get you up there.
Dalen, you're up.
Hey, you shouldn't be saying anything. My next dart might have to go through your head.
There might be room.
That'd be a hell of a shot.
Right,
in
so,
one ear, out the other. So you're targeting giant rat 1. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've switched that already.
And you miss.
And I suck.
Your right foot is just really hurting right now, and that has distracted you from your strike.
I figured it was the rat guts dripping down my visor or something.
That's possible too. All right, is that all you're going to do for now?
Yeah.
Did you see my beer? It's in the chat window.
Yes.
Josh the Guava King.
Who did that one?
Clown Shoes. It's a double IPA with guava.
All right, end your turn if you're done. All right, Bogner. sweeps back in a backhand with his warhammer again. Black. Splatters the giant rat to the other side of the room. He's just painting this place.
Good thing I moved.
Would you like to move? All right. Steps up to the next rat.
A little too much to wish that one rat would attack the other rat.
Yep, no such luck. So that rat continues to try to chew on you that you're distracted. Evander now. He's like, huh.
So does this track your current hit points, or is that your total hit points normally, and now you're...
There's a wound column on the combat tracker.
Correct.
Ah, gotcha. Thank you.
So the bard steps up behind you, Dalen, and he's and reaches out and puts his hand upon your shoulder. And you can feel some curative effects. Rat 2, sensing that the rat killer has approached upon him, he's going to turn and try to bite on Bogner. And he is ineffectual.
Oh.
Nadia.
Dart number 2. Gotta find it again. There it is.
Yep, go ahead and target. Okay, so we'll keep the roll. Because we didn't have anything targeted before, the engine doesn't know what to apply that to. So you can do two things. Either
Gotcha.
you can re-roll and drop a dice. If you don't have anything targeted, you can always drop your rolling dice on top of a token in the map. Or, you, like for right now, you can grab that 21 that you rolled and drag it on top of a token in the map. Perfect. Now you can, again, because you don't have anything targeted, when you roll damage, drag the damage on top of your giant rat 1. Perfect. All right. Flip.
I'll just hang out here.
All right. Dalen.
I'll still hit the same rat again.
And you do this time. The throb in your foot has gone away, and that was enough for you to focus. All right. All right, you want to move or?
No. Yeah, sure. What the heck.
All right, Bogner.
You just moved into hammer range.
And he brings it to bear.
Hey, he might need a backstop.
Death.
Were you swinging?
Plus, maybe the bard will pay me for the bard will pay me for keeping the blood off his shoes.
Right. All right. So you guys make quick work of the beasties that were down here. You look around and other than a small hole in a wall that was probably the main entry for these rats, because the grate, when you investigate it, is really just a a pit with rock and sand for water to drain away and into the ground. So that's only the real entry is the one hole in the upper left corner. Everything else seems to be intact.
So I guess we could drain one of the ale casks and break it up to jam into the hole so nothing can get into it.
There's some empty pony kegs and boxes if you'd like to, use any of those temporarily.
Can I try to Can I try to recover darts?
Sure. Roll me a D2. You threw 2 darts. See if you both get them both. So right click on the D6, select custom die, D2. You get them both back.
All right, so I have 2 check boxes or 2 check marks next to those dice, so
you can take them away.
Or to that dart.
Yep, uncheck your checks.
Okay. I'm frugal.
Plus, it's just rat brains.
Very good. All right.
Well, I don't know if I had to shoot it through a skull, you know.
So we'll bring you guys back upstairs.
All right. We're going to need the tavern cellar again, or can we actually shut this one down?
Yeah, you can shut that down.
And you'll need to push that other map to me because when I reopened, I don't have the... There you go. Perfect.
Okay. So, you guys come up out of the cellar. The beastie's killed. What do you tell Mastum?
All our patrons are gone. Did we scare them?
Nope.
Oh, there they are.
Just say, I think we handled your beast problem.
You did? What were
I'll
they?
stand quietly.
What kind of beasties were they?
Rats.
I'll hold up the body of one of them.
A lady near at the bar, patron 3, she's like, ah, kind of faints into her fellow next to her. You have a good feeling that she's probably faking it. She just wants an excuse to be held by her man. Mastum wrinkles his nose, and Sheila's screaming, I told you. You should have taken care of them days ago, weeks ago. Mastum grumbles and says, oh, fine. Get rid of that thing. Ugh, you're ruining my customers' appetites. Well,
I toss it back down the stairs.
And Nadia, don't give him any ideas that'll be dinner.
all right, says, well, grab a table or sit up at the bar. I don't care which. I said I'd get you food and drink I'll get you.
All right.
We will award some quick XP.
Give me 1 second, guys.
sit at the bar and start cleaning the blood off my darts.
Does not take you very long. These aren't lawn darts from the 70s. They're kind of in between.
I get it. Just something to do. See if I can get patron number 3 to pass out again.
Right? Mastum comes over and he says, "All right, you each get 1 dinner and 2 ales each. That's it."
I'm back.
Okay. So he's offered you each 2 ales and a meal.
I'll accept that. I'll go ahead and chow down and start drinking my ale.
Same here.
It's actually pretty good. The ale's not too bad. It's probably not the best that Bogner has sampled. And Nadia's with a fair bit of traveling. She's tasted 1 or 2 things.
It let me
I
move
tell
the
him I need
NPC.
one more that I need to soak a rag in so I can put it on my toe.
That's done. And you guys are happily eating, happily enjoying yourself. And while you're eating, a tavern door opens and a man walks in, accompanied by 2 guards. And he heads over to the barkeep and starts talking with him. The guards are definitely guarding this man. They seem to be good at their job. They're reasonably well equipped. But they're not acting like dicks. They're just coming in and, doing what they're supposed to be. You guys are close enough that you can overhear the conversation if you choose to.
I'll pay attention.
Okay. The man's asking the barkeep, and he really does it by telling him. It says, "Hey, there should be some adventurers here that I called to this tavern. Point them out to me, will you?" And the barkeep looks at him like, "I don't know nothing about people coming here to see you or nothing, but I know these fellows right here." And he points to, well, actually the 3 of you, and sort of at the bard, who seems to have kind of saddled up for a free meal as well. They just took care of my rat issue, and they're probably good enough. And he turns his back, kind of annoyed that he's being pushed around by this merchant, and goes back to feeding people. So the merchant turns around and looks at you 3, and he's like, yes, you. I believe you guys look at least similar to what my man said you would look like. Kind of looks like a, not necessarily dirty, but unkempt elf, and a surly dwarf, but they're all surly, and a fighter that looks to be reasonably well kept, looking at each of you in turn. And he introduces himself. "I'm Haskell Pithme, and I have had caravans between here and Secomber that have gone missing. And they all seem to disappear about 2 to 3 days' travel down the road. I've complained to the local city watch, and they don't seem to be wanting to take care of my problem. And I obviously can't send my guards to do it because they need to do their job by guarding me. So I thought I'd enlist some people who feel like they can handle themselves out in the countryside. You guys believe, at least my man thought that he believed you 3 would be capable. Is he wrong?"
So Dadiel just kind of looked over at the other 2, or 3, because I'm including the bard at this time, in interest, I'm still not saying anything.
I'll ask him what he's saying.
Ah, man after my own heart, or purse, if you will. I'm willing to pay you each 50 gold a person to either retrieve my goods or show proof that whatever has been taking them have been taken care of for good. But I will need proof.
I'll tell him we'll need some information on what was being carried, where it was going, or the route taken. Basically, what we can learn about the caravan and when it left, that kind of stuff.
So I pushed the map of Daggerford back out to you. And he basically said that there's a trail that leads off of Daggerford and heads um, west by north, or east by northeast along the Dellenbeer River towards Succomber. And he says that there are some small outlying villages and farms along that route that he, supplies. So his goods are typically linens, some ironworks, pots, pans, horseshoes, nails, some tools of decent quality. Um, nothing fancy. This is pretty much kind of what you consider a lifeblood caravan. Um, Local communities would definitely be eager for this caravan to come through consistently.
What's the distance between Daggerford and Succumber?
Um, well, I can tell you by travel. I don't have the exact distance with me, but if you go by
That's
boat,
fine.
yeah,
Travel.
if you go by boat, um, 4 or 5 days. If you're walking, um, probably closer to 10, maybe even 15 if you're traveling, you know, weighted down or more slowly.
Gotcha.
So for the caravan, it's going by. Is it? I assume it's going by trail and at a walking speed.
Correct.
Sure, I'll look into it.
He gives you guys a really big smile. Ah, excellent. I knew my man had you guys pegged from the beginning. Wonderful. So with that, we begin the quest to find the missing caravan and why it went missing.
So before we begin that, obviously we've got our introductions to do, right?
Yes, as well as decide whether or not you need to equip yourselves with anything or not. You don't have any extra money on you at this moment, and maybe this bard's somebody you want to take with you. Maybe not. There may be
All I know is the
others.
bard has healed me in every fight I've fought with this bard. He's healed me.
Well, previous meta encounters aside, yes, you do know that. And in fact, as soon as the merchant walks away, the bard actually looks at you and says, "Well, that guy's a right fat prick, ain't he? Hey, Evander Tallwood, glad to meet you." And he actually holds his hand out to you, Bogder, since you're closest.
I kind of look him up and down a little bit, and then shake his hand. And Say my name too.
All right. Well, I don't know about you. I didn't get any street urchin coming up to me to ask him to work for some fat prick like that guy, but hey, if you want me along, I'm happy to go along.
So there are two thoughts that come to mind, and I'll just kind of voice them to everybody. One, the merchants left saying 50 gold per person, but he was only looking at three of us at the time. So he's probably going to try to shortchange us the fourth. So we'll have to address that. Secondly, there's no way if it's just knickknacks and stuff like that. He's had an issue with caravans disappearing because it sounded like he mentioned he'd had multiple issues with this, not just one.
Okay. The merchant hasn't left. He isn't by you. He's off on a table in the far north
Okay.
of the facility, so he can't hear you talking. But he is still around if you had any questions that you wanted to address with him. So you can continue to talk openly with the group.
That was all I had.
So I move over and basically just tell everybody Nadia fared and reach out to shake each person's hand.
And then I'll introduce myself as Dalen Silvesteri, or however I pronounce my name.
Silvesteri. That's how I pronounce it. If you've got a different, let me know.
I had to reopen my character screen to actually see what the last name was. So
I hate that it's Dalen because I want to call you Danlin.
I will answer to both. My login name is Danlin, so.
So Evander sits there and says, well, I could probably persuade the guy to make sure he pays for, each of us, because he did say 50 gold piece apiece. And we all four were here when he said it, so I think we could probably wrangle out 50 gold. But if you don't want me to go along, I know there are other adventurers around if you want to try to enlist somebody, but they'd probably sign up for 50 gold as well. But I'm happy to come along because this is kind of and he kind of gives you a stage whisper, drab crowd.
I'm willing for him to come along.
I nod to, what's his name? Evander. And I just start moving off towards the door a little bit.
I slapped him on the back.
He spits his ale.
Yeah. Well, outstanding. And he kind of looks over and he says, you gonna drink the rest of that ale?
Who's he looking at?
Bogner. You got half of a second ale if you haven't already gulped it down.
I was gonna say there was some left.
He looks in your mugs and he actually gets kind of a confused and disappointed look on his face and looks over at Dalen, kind of with that hopeful gleam in his eye, like, huh? Huh?
Where's the merchant?
I didn't bother putting a token on there, but he would be sitting over in this area with his guards, kind of one standing by him and the other sitting at the table. You can see the green square.
So yeah, I got it. So before we decide we're going out, if none of the other people are going over there, I'll approach him and I'll just say, very short sentence, 50 for 4. 50 per each, or 4 people, 50 each.
He looks at you for a moment and, well, That's what I said. There were 4 of you there. I know I only had my man call up 3, but fair enough. But I will only wait 7 days, and after that I will hire another group, and I will not pay you a single copper if you show up after 7 days. Good enough.
That depends.
I nod and walk off.
I only have 2 days of rations. Oh wait, no,
That's awesome.
I was looking at the wrong thing. It's 2 pounds of rations. I have 10 days of rations. Okay, never mind.
Okay, so you're good.
I should probably buy some because I've only got 1. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's got a quantity of 10.
I have a quantity of 10, which is
So we do
10
have
days.
treasure, so we could buy supplies if we needed to.
Yeah, you each have
I
some
have 21 gold pieces if you guys need them.
Oh yeah, that's what I was looking into. It's like, wait, do I have enough stuff? I don't think I need anything based on what's my stuff. But then I was looking at the rations, and I saw the 2 after it, and I'm thinking, oh, I only have 2 days of rations.
Right. Okay. Well, it is evening, so I'm assuming you guys would want to get a start in the morning. Most of the shops right now are closed, so if there's stuff that you would like to buy in the early morning, shops open up early here. The markets are active. You can find almost all common goods. So if there's something you'd like to buy, let me know. Otherwise, we'll start your travel.
Where do we find a list of common goods?
Okay, so under library, there's 4 buttons up on top of the library window. GM Play. Click on Play. And then on the right side of your table, you should have items. And that should allow you to see all kinds of stuff. There are.
All right, I clicked on play, and nothing pops up.
No, it won't. Just on the right side of your table, you'll see all those tabs will change if you weren't already in a play setting. So one of those tabs should be items.
I was already in a play setting. Gotcha.
Okay.
How much is the antimatter rifle?
Yeah, I know. I can't tailor some of those things.
So where's
It's
my
a
weight or
bajillion
my
platinum.
encumbrance?
Don't worry about that. I don't worry about it. Unless we're doing something crazy. Like you can't pick up a boulder 3 times your size, but I'm not going to count too much.
It does 6d8 damage.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to assume that
I may need to get a bag of sand.
Yeah, I would say, and that's for writing for the most part. It's very fine sand to help dry inks and parchments.
No, it's so that I can replace it for the idol that was there.
Nice.
Just get the bag. You can fill it with sand when you get there.
No, the sand was already in it. He had to actually take some out.
I thought he put some in and then took some out.
I don't know. All right. So.
Hey Jerry, I think you should get some ball bearings.
Well, I'm actually thinking about but I might already have this, the Burglar's Pack.
I believe, and we can do a quick check here for monks.
Because I have a backpack.
So you
I don't have the ball
probably,
bearings,
you
but
probably have an explorer's pack, is what you have. or a Dungeoneer's pack. Let's see, crowbar, hammer, mess kit, pitons. Yeah, I think you have a Dungeoneer's pack.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we need a crowbar, a hammer, or do I already? I have the hammer. I have the pitons. I don't have a hooded lantern. I don't think.
Nope, but you have dark vision.
I do, but does the rest of my party?
That's true. You
I
don't.
do. I do.
Your dwarf does.
Actually,
Tinderbox.
can't remember if mine is dark vision or if it's the other. Weren't there two different levels?
Not in
That
this. You have
rope.
dark vision 60 feet, so you're pretty good. That's the standard. There's dark vision 120.
Got a
but
water.
That's usually for warlocks.
All right. So yeah, I guess I don't need ball bearings. I don't know what I'd be using them for right now.
If you find a wheel that needs fixing because the previous one's broke.
They can be thrown on the ground to give you a 5 foot. So every 100 ball bearings, if you throw them on the ground, will give you a 5 foot radius. Call it like a tripping rough terrain area where somebody has to make a dex save or fall prone. It's not,
Is there an equivalent for banana peels?
Right. It's the equivalent of that. But it doesn't get stinky and
Oh,
can't smoke them.
a dice set.
Yeah.
Ooh, a disguise kit.
I'm going to be right back. I finished my beer.
An elephant.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent mount. But
I can't afford it.
yeah, not well known up in these parts.
A galley. Take a galley up the river. All right, I've gone through. I think I'm decent. I'm gonna pick up some more arrows. How many arrows fit in a quiver?
20.
And the darts, do they need to go in a quiver?
No, I don't think so. I think you can just kind of have them in your
All right.
belt or your robes or, you know, a knotted rope around your torso or whatever.
All right, so I want to pick up one more quiver, which is 1 gold piece. I want to pick up. These darts don't weigh anything, and they're pretty decent. I'll probably pick up 40 more darts, which is another 20 copper.
Go for it. Drag it over into your inventory. Subtract your copper.
So if I push dart, do I go from the PHB Deluxe or the 5e basic rules?
I think either. They should both work. I usually pull everything from the deluxe.
Oh, that just gave me 1. How do I pull up multiple?
So you can just type in.
It's getting.
So just go ahead and type in the quantity that you want to add. So like where it says 12, just left click on 12 and then type in what you want.
So I had 10. I bought 40 more.
There you go. So yep, you got 50. And so then on your actions tab, you'll just want to make sure that you update your dart ammo to 50. Unless you just
Okay,
want to
and
say
then
that you
I'm
only
buying.
have 20 active or something crazy.
So I'm buying another quiver.
Okay, so if you want, you can
That's
update your.
two.
Yep.
And then I'm buying 20 more arrows.
So you can update that to 2.
Okay, so then
All
I go
right,
to
I'm
my
at.
actions.
And so if you want to have all that ammunition available to you, yep, there you go.
And it auto did the. It auto did the. Oh no, it didn't. Because I'm assuming my short bow has a further distance than my darts.
Yes, so as you can see, I put in those ranges. Dart is 2060. You can throw a dart up to 20 feet without any penalties. You can throw a dart up to 60 feet, but you'll have disadvantage to those attacks. Anything beyond 60 feet will be
Perfect.
ineffectual. Short bow, 80, 320 for the distances.
Okay. Well, I've purchased what I wanted. Now I don't know that it took my gold away.
It did not. It doesn't do that. I wish. That'd be awesome. So you'll have to kind of auto do the math and then do the subtraction.
So it was one gold for the quiver. So I'm gonna take that to 20. The darts was only 40 copper.
So that's 4 silver. So you'll have take away a gold and leave 6 silver. So I just added SP for you.
And then let me find the arrow cost.
1 GP for 20.
So I'll take that down to 18.
Okay. The rest of you guys okay, or?
I'm good.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, after a quick perusal of your different shops and buying what you need, the weather really couldn't be better for traveling. It's sunny, there's a slight breeze, keeps you all and your mounts that that the Master Perthme has provided for you. So you're not actually walking. And the camping's easy. So you guys are traveling about 1.5 days along the northern road towards where the merchant believes his caravan goes missing.
So are you managing our rations then?
Yeah, if it becomes an issue, we'll start managing them. But for now, I'm assuming you've got enough rations to cover you for this current uh, venture, for your current trip that you plan. And then if we happen to extend
Okay.
beyond, then I'll start playing with it. But for now, you have the rations available to you, so I'm not going to make you guys, deduct them every day, and we'll just know that you have them and you've accounted for it.
I was just more wondering based on the cost. I know rations don't cost much, but having to purchase them at the beginning of an adventure, that kind of stuff. I like not having to worry about it, so
Yeah, I do too. All right, so along the way, you actually start to hear some noises that sound like growling and yelling.
and what kind of what are we moving through? Are we on a little trail? Are we through the forest area? Where are we?
It's more well traveled than a trail, but I would say it's not traveled enough to be considered a road per se.
And we're about a day and a half out of Daggerford.
Yep.
And so, are the noises on the road? Are they off the road? Are they?
They're just off they're just off the road a bit, and it's kind of some growling and some snarling.
So
Definitely
what's surrounding the road? Is it forested? Is it trees? Is it grassland? Is it?
some hills, some grassland. This is, um, you know, I'd say light forest at this point is really where you're kind of crossing into. So you're kind of in that ambiguous area in Daggerford where you haven't quite moved beyond all the hills if you're looking at the map. Um, you know, but you've got some light wooded areas and some little mountain areas. So it's really more hills at this point. You know, you haven't really moved beyond those mounds yet.
Okay.
I'll start walking towards the stuff, but basically, as I get close enough that I might be able to see it, I'll try to stay out of sight until I can see what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna dismount as well, and I'll go ahead and begin, kind of meandering up, attempting to hide.
Okay.
As
Roll
I
me
get
stealth
closer.
checks.
All right, where's my stealth check?
Under your skills, and you'll see stealth in there.
All right, so are you letting me go ahead, or are you coming up with me?
I'll let you lead, but I'll follow behind.
So I approach, and there's my roll.
Okay.
You're in how far? I don't know how far he is behind, but if you want him to roll as well.
How do you roll? I mean, I see the check, but how do you actually roll?
Drag
So
it.
grab the little, grab the little plus whatever and drag it over to the window.
Yeah, I was grabbing the wrong thing. Yeah, I didn't do very good.
This tells me that you're not allowed to come with me anymore.
Yeah, so as Nadia hops off lightly on your horse and drop the reins, and this is, it's a nag. It's not going anywhere. It wanders over to the side and eats some grass. You lightly, pad your way off the side of the road and over a hilltop, and just as you peek over, you hear a clank, clank, creak, clank, 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 and you look back, and Danlin's next to you going, "What do you see?"
I just shake my head. Do we have a map?
Yes.
All right. So, is that the river that I'm seeing?
That is a small stream that seems to actually flow
Out of the cave?
out of the cave. It's very small. It's not very big. I haven't put you guys on the map yet because you're still kind of up on the just cresting the hill from the road. And you see down below.
And this is a small.
Yeah, it's a smaller
It's a
cave.
small map.
Yeah, it's a small map.
So is this a Borderlands area and there's a keep nearby?
All right, and so we see some dead bodies, or I see some dead bodies. Well, and so does Clanky.
And,
Well, that's Clanky now. They've lost a fight with a large tentacled creature. Have we ever seen any kind of this creature or have any lore on it?
roll me history checks. See if you guys have come across anything like this. Dalen, no, you've never seen this thing before. But Nadia, yeah, you've kind of heard of these creatures. You've never seen one personally, but it's what's considered a roper. It's a cave-dwelling type creature. It typically hides in plain sight by looking like a stalactite or a stalagmite, and it's doing what it does right now. It kills things and then drags them slowly back and eats them. Typically, they lair and they have a reasonable amount of I wouldn't call it treasure per se, but there's usually items and stuff from its kills. And here, um, give me a perception check for you guys, you and Nadia and Dalen.
I'm still not useful.
Nadia, you see one of the two bodies looks. I mean, it's not only humanoid, but it looks to be like an orc. So for some reason, it looks like there's
Okay.
two orcs that were in there, and they were probably investigating the cave, or maybe they were trying to turn it into their lair and started or became a meal for this thing.
So at this point, I know that if I have at least that history, I know they're cave dwellers. I'm gonna stop worrying about being quiet and start back to Bogner and whatever our ever whatever, but his name is,
Evidur. Mm-hmm.
and I'll inform him of what we've seen.
Yeah, I'll follow him back because with that battle roll, I know I wasn't very quiet.
I just look at Clanky with disdain. I forgot what class you are. I'm just calling you Clanky.
Clanky works.
So you can call Evander, you can call him Evan at this point. Or Tallwood, or Wood. He answers to just most anything. He's like, I've never seen those before.
Call him.
So he actually hops down and walks over because he saw how nonchalantly you guys came back. So he walks over and he looks down. He's like, huh. And let me see.
I'll give them what history I do know on them. You know that they are they hide, so we at least know that they're going to be in there, and they may be looking like stalactites or stalagmites, whichever one is which.
So he looks down and he goes, hey guys, and he calls back to you loudly. It's like, I don't know what looks like those two orcs. Looks like they almost killed that thing. It looks like it's almost dead all by itself. Maybe we can finish the job and see if the orcs have anything on them.
Sounds reasonable to me.
I'll walk up quietly just by his side and pull out a few darts.
No, I'll hop off my horse and start walking over.
I'll clank up there and pull out a javelin.
I just like that I'm gonna get to call you Clanky from now on.
All right, well, I put you guys in
Until
the
we
map.
come up with a better one.
Reroll initiative so we know who's doing what first.
Where's initiative from again? Oh, main page. So did you just put us in order? So Evander and me, Dalen, the Dying Roper, and Bogner.
It will do that automatically.
Okay.
So that's nice. Yeah, so...
I'm not dead yet!
Right. So Evander sits there and he's like, well, shoot, let's do this. And he pulls out a crossbow, a hand crossbow.
That's a drow weapon.
And he walks over to there and sights up on the roper, and he goes to shoot it.
How many feet is that?
30
So how many
feet,
feet is each square?
5. So it's 30 feet from where Evan is to the roper. And if you target the roper and then hover over yourself, you'll see the distance. Thunk! He misses. And you hear him curse a little bit. Ah, that's stupid, stupid, stupid. Nadia, you're up.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I'm getting within range. So a dart is 2060.
Yep.
So it's on a 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I actually got to move to there. So where I'm viewing it, is it actually on that like line?
On that line.
So when I view it, it's so we got the grid. So it's
Right.
on a like an intersection of a line. It's not in a um, graph point. It's on like one of the lines of the graph point.
Right. Mm-hmm. But
Okay.
it's a larger creature, so it's actually bigger than that. So as you can see where this red highlight is, so while it's centered on that line in between the squares, it really encompasses, like 4 squares total.
Okay, so I don't see a red highlight.
Okay. Right, I understand.
So if I'm looking at the outside, so I see an arrow that you put out there.
Right.
It is
Okay.
taking up half squares.
So if I like, how far do I have to get within 20 feet or 20 feet of it?
Okay, so I just had you target the dying roper. So if you hover over yourself, you should see that it shows you 30 feet. And so if you
Ah,
want,
okay.
now you can just move 10 feet closer and then a little bit over so you have line of sight to it, right? And you have enough movement that,
So so I just put there. I'm in perfect line of sight.
and you're within 20 feet.
Okay. So now I'm gonna go ahead and attack it with a dart.
Okay. And you hit.
And then my roll, right?
There you go. Gave it a good shot. And
So I
you can move again if you want. You still have like 15 feet of movement, I think. Say you wanted to move out of the way.
Yep, I moved out of the way.
Perfect. Okay.
So
And I end my turn.
so I have him targeted. Do I have line of sight? I can't quite tell on that little corner of this stuff, or do I need to move slightly to get line of sight?
I'm going to say you
I
have to
think you
move
need to
slightly.
move.
Yeah, you're going to have to move just a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah, the text
You
is
gotta-
right over that. The text
You
is right over that, so I couldn't quite tell.
You got to move down next to Evander. I'd say you need to move 2.
Yeah, 10 feet, and you'll be right there. Now you got an
All right.
excellent opportunity there. But you miss.
I'm pretty, except for initiative, I'm pretty useless.
All right.
I'll just stay here. I can at least be a meat shield.
If it comes out that far, I don't think it's got a range attack.
No, if it moves out this far, I'll be a meat shield. That's fine.
All right. Well, you got to. Yeah, there you go. So the dying roper. It runs away.
All right, so let's see here. All right. It just turns and it's looking at the biggest, tastiest thing out there. And surprisingly, a tendril actually whips out and tries to strike at you there, Dalen. And it does. It wraps around you.
Wow, that's a long distance.
It
Didn't know
sure
that they
is.
had that.
And it wraps around you, grapples you, and you are restrained. And you fall down on the ground.
So obviously, whatever he uses on his tentacles is his bag.
No, it's a big rat, and it knows where it needs to hit you.
Right. Bogner, you're up.
I did say meat shield, didn't I?
What class are you? You're a paladin, aren't you?
Yes.
Fucking dumbass paladins.
Alright, why is it not letting me move?
I need to accept your move. There you go, sir.
You've only got a certain. Well, I don't know. He can't move as far as I can. I know he's only got a certain distance.
Yeah, 25, I think.
So I'm gonna take my hand axe and try and cut the tentacle that's grappling Balin.
All right. Just go ahead and roll a to hit in the chat window.
That's off your main, right?
Off his action list. So actions,
Oh,
choose
action
your weapon,
list,
and just
okay.
roll a to hit. You don't have to target anything. Okay, so that's fine. The AC is the same. So you miss. I mean you hit it, but it's a. I mean this creature's almost stone-like, so you don't really seem to damage the tentacle at all.
It bounced off.
Yeah, quite literally.
Well, alright. So I
You
guess
should
can't do
use
anything
the
else, right?
hammer.
All right, you got a little bit of move left, or you can end your turn. All right, Evander. Yeah, he's gonna bring out. He's also gonna try to take a chop at that tentacle. And his little rapier's not doing it. Nadia.
Alright, I don't have anything to chop at that guy. So I'm going to move back to where I can target him. And I'm going to try to hit him with another dart.
All right. And you do. Very nice.
Move back out of the way, and I'm done.
Dalen.
So I'm grappled, so all I can really do is try to break the grapple first, right?
Yep. Roll me a strength check. So on your main page, on the left side, you just want to drag your strength and roll it. Okay, you struggle, but this thing's got one hell of a grip. You are not getting free.
So basically, you want me to roll initiative. You don't want me to roll anything else.
Yeah, you're cursing Evander now for his idea of this thing's almost dead, let's go get it.
Yeah, let's go get it. All right. It drags you 25 feet towards it. and it's got its big mouth, and it turns its big mouth at you.
Right. I'm AFK for just a sec.
And it throws out another attack. Another tendril comes whipping out past Dalen. Only this one careens off the cave wall next to you, Bogner, and doesn't grab purchase. Bogner, it's your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna move next to him and go after him with my warhammer.
All right. You hit. And you bring your hammer down. Wham! This thing isn't dead yet, but it definitely does not look happy. Evander, he comes up. And
I'm back.
Bogner walked in and smacked it with his hammer. Didn't kill it though, but it's definitely looking rough, as they say. Evander puts his rapier away and he pulls out his hand crossbow again, loads it. Shoots it and he hits. And it flies right into the mouth that was opening to start chewing on Dalen, and it shoots him right there, and it chokes and slumps over and dies.
So I guess so far I'm the default tank.
No, you're not a tank. You're a meat shield.
I know. Well, right, but tank's a nicer way of saying meat shield.
No, it's not, because a tank actually does hit back.
No, a tank just takes all the aggro.
And hits back occasionally. You may not do a lot of damage, but at least you hit back.
I hit back. I attempted to hit back. That's close.
Alright, so...
Alright. So this was definitely a lair.
I'm going to get up to that rope. Yeah, I'm going to get up to that roper and see if I can recover any of my darts I threw to.
Okay. Give me a roll for each one. 1d2, right? So this was definitely a lair for this creature. You get them both back. Most lairs of this kind have small amounts of treasure, which probably what brought the orcs. So yeah, you should probably look inside.
Can I try to recover my javelin?
Right.
Although I'm sure I'll fail that too.
You can recover your javelin. It is fine.
All right.
So as you move into the cave entrance, you see some glinting among some bones in the back of the cave.
So let's just, are the orc bodies still out here? I'm searching the whole way.
Basically, you guys are standing where the orc bodies are right now.
Okay, so I'll search the orc bodies first and see if there's anything on them.
No, nothing really. Some shoddy daggers that are really kind of embarrassing, and a rusted short sword, and the other had a club, and no armor really, other than some cloth and some moldy leather.
So nothing sellable.
Nah, nothing sellable. After you give these two orcs the once over, and you're like, well, no wonder they got eaten. They had no business messing with this thing.
Yeah, but if they damaged it that badly with that crappy equipment, they might be tough orcs in this area.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
So is Evander gonna try and recover his bolt from the thing's mouth?
Yeah, he'll kind of look.
My dagger. Okay, so I'm gonna
Yeah, he only gets
try
one.
to.
The
I'm
other
gonna
one's
start towards.
broken.
Okay, I'm gonna start towards the glittering thing we see at the other side, but I'm keeping an eye out for more of those because I don't trust that that's the only one here.
Okay, Dalen, since you just moved, I will let Bogner and Nadia make a move first. Up to. Are you?
So how far are we allowed to move?
Well,
I thought I had a 35-foot range.
you do.
So there's my 35 feet.
50.
Oh, we're spreading out.
So go ahead and do your move now.
So how far did
Dalen?
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Dalen, and show me where you're going to move. Okay. All right, Dalen, give me a perception check. Okay. You definitely see what looks like is some coins and stuff, just straight back amongst some bones in the back. The bones are kind of loosely scattered about, but looks like this may be where the previous victims were drug. And you even see what looks like the attempted makings of a campfire, probably from the orcs, before the roper pounced on them. So I'll say Evan Duro move in. Nadia, you can make a move, and then Dalen can make a move again. I'm kind of following the combat tracker order loosely.
All right, I moved into the where I think the glowing area is, the camp and whatnot.
All right, so Nadia, you get right here. And something drops and falls down on you.
It's a piercer.
And it misses, and it lands right on the ground. Smack.
I beat the shit out of it.
It takes 6 points of damage from the fall. All right, Dalen. So I basically gave it a surprise attack against you. Dalen, go ahead and move up. It's on the ground. You get advantage to attack because it's prone. So advantage.
Hey, you might hit it.
In the lower left corner, you can see modifiers, ADV, DIS, and then pluses and minuses. Click on the ADV. That gives you advantage, which basically rolls the die twice and gives you the higher of the result.
Yeah,
Is that off of May?
I'm actually trying to select it as a target.
There
Oh,
you go.
I have to hit control first. That's why.
You target it.
What
and then
tab is that off of?
Yeah, right.
It's on the table below the chat window. For the ADV and DIS.
Advantage.
So I click
Gotcha.
I click ADV and then I do my attack.
Correct. There you go. You hit. Go and roll damage.
Oh, sweet! You finally hit something.
Smack. All right.
Still didn't kill it, you bitch.
Like I said, I'm the tank.
Are you done?
Yeah, if I ever remember to complete the turn, yeah.
Okay. It just crawls away from you guys very slowly.
See, I want it to have like a little rope that it just climbs back up.
Wagner, you're up. That's your move?
So it'd be
Well, as
like
far as I
those
can remember, right?
Half-Life things that pull you up in the air.
Wagner's trying to swim across the river. Stupid ass.
Actually, Wagner, you get here when something tries to fall down on you.
Told ya.
Oh, but this does land right in your shoulder and takes a bite out of you. Not a very big bite, but still a bite.
You dented my chainmail.
So you still have an action if you wish to use it.
Well, if I can attack, I'll try and attack it.
Sure, you can attack it. You can try to whack it off with your hammer or whatever you're wielding.
He's gonna try to whack it off.
You hit.
It is the right shape.
He whacked it off.
And you damage
That's
it.
awesome.
But he didn't finish it off.
Yeah. I'll say it's knocked off and falls to the ground. Evander comes up.
With Wagner cussing at it.
Evander comes up and stabs it with its rapier, and he actually hits.
I'm making sure they're dead.
Nadia, you're up.
Alright, I'm gonna melee attack this dude, unarmed. Yep. So I get 2, right?
Yeah, and both
so
with
I'm gonna
advantage.
Attack him.
Because it's lying on the ground. So click advantage, do your first unarmed attack, and then you'll click advantage.
I don't
again.
point to the small piercer?
Oh, you do, yeah. So left click on the small piercer.
It's not doing anything for that. I don't see it highlight or nothing.
Control left click.
Ah, controller.
There you go. You're targeting.
So it says 5.
That's
all
5
right.
feet away. You're in melee.
Talking.
Alright, so then I'm going to unarm him.
And you miss.
Times. Woo! Do it again.
And you hit him
Wait,
without advantage. That's fine. So you hit him. Roll your damage. Alright, you kill it.
Smack.
Alright, if you're done.
I moved into the little area.
Okay.
Let's see if anything else can jump on me.
Nope, you're looking up. I mean, there's some smaller, tinier stalactites, but nothing that looks like it's gonna fall on you at just this moment.
See, I was paying attention.
There you go. Dalen, you move up now. Trying to get some retribution for being targeted by everyone.
I want to try to be useful.
Oh, I thought Wagner killed the other thing. Oh,
He
nice
hits.
hit. Oh,
And kills it.
oh, it's done. There you go.
Nice. Nicely
Good
done.
day, Lon. Daylon does a happy dance.
So I guess if you combine Meat Shield and Tank, you get Clank, right?
There you go.
I'm already calling you a clank.
All right, and let's see.
I get the first look at the treasure.
There's a lot of coins here, and as you kind of take the moment and sort them out, you can. I don't know. Can you see in the chat window? Does it show
I
you
can see
what?
the chat window.
Does it show a GM
The
roll?
Nothing.
last, no, the
No, it
last
doesn't.
thing I see is damage 11, smaller piercer.
Okay. So as you know, there's a couple thousand coins here. Unfortunately, they're mostly copper, but there's almost there's about 1,000 silver and about 100 gold. And so in the party sheet, I've added those, and if you want
So
to
we'll.
distribute it, I can do that.
Why don't we just distribute it when we're done? I don't know that we need to
There you
distribute
go.
while we're in the middle of a journey.
Absolutely, that's why the party sheet's there.
Anyone else disagree?
I don't disagree, but where's the party sheet?
So in the upper right corner, you'll see an eye with 3 silhouettes.
Okay.
And so there's a main which shows everybody in your party sheet.
A main? I don't see everybody in our party sheet. I do see the stuff you dropped in.
So there's main, inventory, order, and XP.
We just see inventory in order.
I don't see anything.
Okay.
I see parcel coins and I see parcel items.
Over
On the very right there, there's
side,
little
there are a couple
tabs.
tabs.
There's an order. Okay. I do see order. Yeah, so we have inventory, which shows the GP, SP, and CP. So we've already made half of what over half, close to what, 3/4 of what he's going to provide us, right?
Yep.
All right.
So we can order the good ale when we get back.
All right, so I just take a quick look around and make sure there's nothing else we didn't miss.
Nope, nothing else. If you want to do an investigation check, but I'll save us the time. No, you give this place a thorough scouring, and you don't come across it.
Hey, I'm just doing the down and dirty, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What check was that? Investigation?
Investigation.
You get a +1. 19.
Yeah, you're pretty sure you've found everything that there is to find in here.
I was trying to intimidate the cave.
So you can feel
That's one of the,
good about yourselves for having cleared out this little area, because you can see that this looks like a common cave that's been used for way stops for travelers, and you can see by the bones some people have been taken out by the roper that was in here. So you've definitely made this trail just a little bit safer.
And if I was a druid, which I'd considered, I would have made this safer for a bear to live in.
All right, so let's see. Very good. It's 11:47. If you want, we can continue the road a little bit.
This looks like a good place to camp now that we've cleared it out.
I'm good with whatever.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Well, we'll say that you guys camp. You guys rest up. Um, all your wounds are back, so I think only Bogner took a point, and he's easily healed up from that.
That's because I'm a hider.
And you guys travel, the next day along the road, and the road comes to a place where it runs between two low hills with a slight bend, so the road disappears from view for a
Oh,
small
yeah.
distance.
One sec, Jim.
Is this still loading for
So,
you?
no. I was going to ask Kevin if he was indicating that it was a good place to camp, as in he was done for the night, or was we were camping and now we're continuing.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, how much farther do we really think we're going to go on this? I mean,
I don't know.
if we're gonna wrap it up
I
in
asked
15
the
or 20
question.
minutes. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to wrap it up in maybe, 15, 20 minutes, that's fine. But if we're not, then I'd say let's just stop here.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll get to this point here. I think in 15, 20 minutes we can have you investigate this site, and then probably that'd be a good point to stop.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, Jim. When Kevin said
No,
we're
I
camping,
gotcha.
I immediately was like, okay, he's done for the night.
No, good call.
Are you still streaming this or
I-
twitching?
I am, yeah.
I'm twitching. All right. So do your GM thing.
So you can see that the road will continue on after the hills, and atop one of the hills lies several stones that might have been part of a small outpost or way station from a very long time ago. But they're pretty much just a pile of stones now. And as you move into the bend, you can see the remains of a wagon that might have been part of Haskell's caravan.
All right. Well, I am going to dismount and, as stealthily as possible, start approaching the wagon.
Okay, give me a stealth roll.
Where's that off of my skills?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm just gonna clank off my horse and stay there.
Okay. And for good reason, because obviously Nadia, she kind of pads over and stepping on rocks and everything, and makes very little noise, and even kind of stays into some of the shadows with the trees, and as she approaches, almost blends in a little bit too. You're really kind of impressed. So Nadia, you get up to the wagon, and nothing around. And this is indeed Haskell's wagon. It's got his business symbol on it. But pretty much everything else has been picked clean. And this is only good to make fires now.
All right. So we've got his business symbol on it.
Mm-hmm.
Are we able to remove that?
No, it's burned into the side of the wagon.
I'll Wagner, get up here, use your axe, cut the shit out. We found your wagon.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll dismount and come over and use my hand axe and try and chop the symbol out of the boards.
Okay, you actually find a symbol towards the back that's smaller. It's just on like one board that you can kind of break out. The ones on the side are much larger and unwieldy. It'd be like carrying a large shield. So you managed to get a little shield out. But you do recall that he wanted to find his goods. He either wanted his goods back.
He did.
Or so just
Proof.
yeah, just so you know. Okay. You guys gonna look
All
around?
right. I will start searching around, seeing if there's any like tracks, trails, anything like that leads off from the wagon.
All right, give me an investigation check.
I didn't find anything.
Yeah, yeah, you're like, hey, I found the wagon.
Some of the other guys can start looking, but I didn't find nothing.
Hey Jim, did you set your coffee cup on this map?
Yeah, I know.
Dalen, we found your other skill.
Very nice.
Hey, look, a butterfly.
And it landed on a footprint, and there's another footprint, and another footprint. Hey guys, I think I found a trail.
All right, which way is the trail going?
So you can see the trail kind of heads off to the north west, and Dalen, your tracking was so well. I mean, you even said, "Oh, don't wander off though. That's a false trail. That's not going to take us anywhere. This is you can tell because there's some extra doubling back here, and they went this way."
All right, so which way do we go?
And so after following the trail of the bandits, you come across a larger hill with some broken doors that have fallen down at an entrance to a seemingly man-made cave. And I'll bring up that map for you.
All right, can we shut the other one down or no?
Yep, you can close it.
So I did want to know which way we traveled, though. I don't know why, but it was important to me.
All right, I'm going to push this is a bigger map, and we'll push it out, so it should take a moment or two. And I think this may be a good place where we're going to end it. So you guys can see.
Considering that I'm still loading.
Yeah, this is a bigger map. It'll probably take 30 seconds or so.
I've got a little portion of it.
So yeah, only a little bit has been uncovered. Pretty much the entrance. So you should see some green grass and some stone walls and just the hint of some broken wood panels or something. Those would be the doors.
I'm there. I'm there. I don't see me.
So is it supposed to look like there's just a piece of a map that's going off the side and we're only seeing the little part?
Yes,
Yep.
I've only
that's all you're
uncovered a
supposed to
piece.
see.
Okay.
You have the fog of war.
That is correct.
That's fine.
All right,
So here's where
Wagner,
we are.
get in there and map this out.
Hey, we're not
So
on the ground.
are we supposed to turn left or right?
We always go left. We're right-handed people. Map left to right. Damn you.
So I would say at this point, this would be a great place to stop before you enter into the bandit.
We don't.
lair.
Well, so there's nothing at the entrance of the bandit lair. They have no guards out. They're just kind of
Yeah,
assuming that no one cares about them.
How do we know they're bandits?
Well, because it says it's the bandit hideout.
Okay.
You've been led to believe that these are bandits, and this is where they are.
They might just be misunderstood.
They might. You can definitely try talking to them.
I could talk to him.
I would say this is probably a really good place to break, and then pick up next time.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Well, I will stop my recording and stop my streaming. Thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoyed just this little bit. And now we're actually going to get into some of the story a little bit. And
So are you gonna go ahead and do the distribute out the stuff, or what are we gonna do with that?
it can just stay there and it'll be held. And
Okay.
we can distribute it all once you get back to civilization. We can distribute it now if you want as well. Doesn't matter.
Nah, let's distribute it once we get back to civilization. Because we're going to get
Yeah, that's
more,
fine.
hopefully. The only things I think we should distribute is if we find stuff that we're able to actually identify and say this is something I can use now.
Right.
Yeah, that works.
So I have distributed experience for each of you. The way you would see that is if you go to your main page and you can see under your class level, all the way to the right, there's a little magnifying glass. And if you click on that, it will bring up your class and level, and it will show you how many experience you have and how many you need to get to your next level.
I still need almost 200 more. 188. I think, though, that I should have gotten more experience for never taking damage.
Right. I actually need to
No.
revisit that. I
No,
think,
you haven't.
It's
You haven't learned how to fall yet.
so
No,
before,
and I think that you should get some more, Jeff, for having taken the most damage.
so I have to relook at it. You guys should have been second level by the time you got here. So what I'd like for you guys to do is go ahead and increase yourselves to 301 experience.
All right, so we've got to go out to our.
Or actually, here, hold on. I'll do this. Let's do this.
Why would you? Why would? Well, how would we have been there? I mean, you didn't have enough encounters for us to get there, unless it was just a. You got experience by going down the trek, which that makes sense if you really want to think about it.
Well, I had designed this so you'd be second level by the time you got here.
All right.
All right, so that'll do it.
Although
Well, that
I
more than
had
does it.
already set myself to 301, so you just added more to it.
Okay, so you can just set yourself back. Or
Where was
Although
that
when
at?
if I set my experience to 301, my next level still says 300 and total level says 100.
So it says that the. All right. So how do we level?
all right, well,
I'm at 301 of 300.
right. I'm trying to get this. So I want to try to test something here.
My class and level is kind of screwed up because I have a 0 level blank line that I can't change. Maybe if I just close.
That's what you
No.
get for like fucking with stuff.
Yeah, I have a 0 level empty class that I can't delete. Oh, there it goes.
I fixed it for you. So what you want to do is you want to just go to your classes. If you need to go to the library and create PC, then you'd go to your class tab, and you'd grab, like, if you want to gain another monk level, you grab monk, and you'll drag it onto your class and level of your main sheet.
All right. So I opened up the class and level, which
Player's
just,
Handbook or other one?
I prefer Player's Handbook.
So what am I doing?
Okay.
So I look at my class and level.
Okay, so go ahead and close that.
Okay.
So what you want to do is, so let me ask this, Jeff, did you drag a? Well, you should be
Yes,
level
it's
3.
having me select a special. Oh well, I dragged one. Had it already updated?
Yeah, you're only. Yeah, it had. So you're only level 2.
Yeah, last time I looked at at least the other sheet, it said, well, if I the only way I've ever seen to do it, you click on the little magnifying glass next to Paladin 2, pulls up level, class and level, and it says total level now 2, Paladin 2, experience points 301, next level 300.
Yeah,
So
and
it
we'll have to
still
update
doesn't
that.
But then I went and dragged the level like you said, and it had the select oath of specialization, which I still have not selected.
Right, because that was for level 3. So go ahead and just delete that.
I did, so it's probably all right. I thought specialization was level 2.
All right, so I dragged the monk to Nadia. It changed my total level to level 2. It changed my monk level to level 2.
Okay.
However, that whole thing where it shows XP and next level of 300, so XP still showed 300 and next level still showed, or XP showed
Okay.
301 and next level still shows 300.
Okay.
So I
it
don't know if
didn't
that's
update
truly
that.
the case.
It's not. It just didn't update it. So I will tell you here in a second.
And it actually it didn't update my level or my hit dice until I did that drag for the specialization. But I could have sworn specialization was level 2.
It did increase my max HP, so I went up from like, I think it was 12 to 17. I didn't get to roll for that. It immediately did it for me.
Right.
5 plus 2.
Uh, 900 now. So next level is at 900.
Yeah, the oath is third level. So it's 900 for next level now?
Correct. So you guys should all be at 301 and 900.
Yeah, it doesn't show that for me. Maybe that if we log out and log back in, it will.
No, you'll have to update
I just
that
manually
yourself.
changed mine.
Yeah, just click on the 300 in next level and just type in 900. Yeah, I wanted to test if it would automatically do that, and it looks like it does not.
Alright, so I'm level 2. My AC hasn't changed. I didn't get any other abilities.
Nope, just hit points.
Okie dokie.
So Kevin already changed your next level.
I like the fact that Daylon got sucked in by the roper.
He got pulled in.
That wasn't the kind of sucked in I was looking for.
I know it wasn't, but I like the fact that it happened.
Alrighty. Well, cool. Very nice beginning entry.
Yeah, it was